Hey guys.
Hey, happy day.
Happy day.
We had skipped a little bit of time, but it was for real life adult reasons.
Unfortunately, I really hate that. Oh, god damn it. Sorry. I really hate that our adult life tends to rear its head and just ruin things for everything.
Well, it's just what it means to be an adult with a life.
It's such a pain in the butt.
Wow, these guys.
Yeah, everybody went up to max. You're the real kill. There you go, kid. Yeah.
You're the real deal, kid.
You're the real deal. You bullet. Okay. Oh.
I mean, I guess if it's time-based and we wait 2 weeks,
yeah,
there
I'll
you
just do it in order at this point. Like, there. I don't raise this man here, please, Doc Lewis. I want him to be stronger.
And also the rhinoceros.
Yeah, make this demon and the rhino stronger. Man from the Bronx.
Okay, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Right? I think that's a... I don't remember.
I don't remember where
Welcome back. Did you find anything? Ha ha ha. It's all Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a lot of money.
So last time we had beaten Galeem and it turned out there was another thing, so now we're in like the other map.
Yeah. I'm sorry about, like, my mood is probably really just feels really strange. That's I've been drained. The last 2 weeks have just destroyed me. I'm fine.
It's fine. No
We've
one's
been streaming
had any...
little bits and pieces as well. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I want to say no one's had any personal tragedies. It's just boring shit like vehicle registration. You know, things that just happen.
A lot of maintenance on vehicles as well. That looks like a fine team.
You go have fun.
Have fun, team. Mostly the color red.
You guys can do it. I believe in you. Last time we were kind of going through this weird forked map evenly.
We figured out that there were more explorers and we just didn't click them. So I guess
just gonna load them up.
Yeah, you can talk about next time and I'll load these up.
Next time.
Well, no, you could talk about last time. Sorry.
Yeah, like we were kind of running back and forth between the different branches of the map and clearing it evenly. And Crazy Hand kept following us. We beat Crazy Hand. Right?
Yeah, we beat the Crazy Hand.
Yeah, there's probably more of him, but you know.
I mean, there might be, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know which way we plan to go next, and they all seem equally vague. We don't know really what's down any of them. One of them just happens to look like the ruined Chaos Station Square from Sonic.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like we really looked at that afterward, and we were kind of like, maybe. So it's unclear.
We've just got like 3
I noticed. That's a team. And,
it's like a Sonic Heroes team.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 4 of them. It's fine.
Just a bunch of
like the Zororks walking backwards because I don't know.
Yeah. It's keeping an eye on the others.
Yeah. So I remember,
first opponent?
Not that. Let me at least warm up. Like, honestly.
That's a fair point.
I'll fight the Landmaster.
Giant Rob, neutral special, I want to say is the laser. I didn't get to read the third thing.
Sorry.
Enemy is giant. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's redundant, but
Enemy's neutral, yeah. So the laser is strong.
Giant Rob is only as big as regular Bowser. That's fine.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're not giant. No, you're not.
Think so.
Nah. So, this is the closest you can get to a Landmaster fight because none of the characters who used to have Landmaster...
they don't have Landmaster anymore.
They do not have it. It is not anyone's final smash.
Yeah. It should have been an assist trophy.
Honestly, yeah.
Or even like... Okay, so here's something cool. You and I never played Star Fox Zero, which was the Star Fox game that came out on Wii U that was a remake of 64. There's a point in that game where you fight the Wolf's team. and they have what is effectively like evil landmasters that transform into wolves.
Cool.
Like just large wolves for, you know, whatever reason.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
Really, in a world of furries, why would they not have
Right.
modeled at least some of their machinery to kind of follow the way
Look
their
like
own
other
limbs
animals.
work?
Yeah.
Although, I guess they also walk like humans, so making like
I mean,
a weird dog
kinda.
pod is kind of...
When they don't
I
have,
know.
you know, robot legs for, you know, reasons.
Well, it just makes sense if you've got a furry
I think they don't
setting.
have robot legs anymore, by the way.
I think that was just never actually intended.
No, that was canon. That was intended. There was
Okay.
actual lore behind it.
I'm
and
pretty
everything.
sure that someone asked one of the developers, either Miyamoto or someone else, and they were like, no, they did those boots.
No, I think when they asked Miyamoto, he gave them the whole explanation that is like, oh, it's because they're
someone can
gravity.
look this up for us. I
Like,
don't
I'm
know.
almost positive where it's like the blood rushes into your legs and you'll pass out otherwise.
I mean, that's not how it actually works.
I think that is how it works. And the issue is that they should have gravity diffusers.
They do, though.
Yeah, explicitly they talk about having gravity
Yeah,
diffusers,
things go wrong with
which
them
would
sometimes.
make it nonsense for them to have that.
Yeah.
Like that's the actual
Oh,
issue.
hey.
It's Kraid.
He's a dojo master.
You know, people remember Kraid, but they rarely remember the baby Kraids. There are baby Kraids in Metroid. They just look like small versions of like
So this is a
normal-sized
stamina
Kraid.
battle.
Kraid's giant,
Yeah.
like all of the time.
And this is the stage that if it wasn't in Final Destination mode, Kraid would be in the background of.
Yep. He still might show up in the background, but he doesn't do anything if that's the case.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
I don't think he does, because it's not like he'd have someplace to hide. We'd see him right now.
I suppose that is true, yeah.
Yeah, but we're fighting him, so he's not going to show up
You're
back
just going to
there.
charge at me, giant jerk.
I wonder if this is the path that will eventually get K. Rool down.
I
don't have
hope
him
so,
yet.
honestly.
Uh-oh.
Haha! I was still getting up.
It's
And
weird
now you're
that
getting
it counted.
down.
I mean, stamina battle against a giant.
I mean, that
You're
is
gonna
true,
have to
yeah.
punch him many times.
I'm still going to have to work on this. He's not quite dead.
They're not as numerous as, nice.
Oh, I just dropped on him hard. That was a guillotine. That was an ass guillotine.
They're not as numerous as sprite comics for Mega Man or for Sonic, but there are sprite comics out
For
there
Mega
from like
Man?
the
Or for
Metroid.
Metroid.
Yeah, like just mid 2000s sprite comics that are about Metroid, and I think from the ones I remember, and I don't know if this
Ooh.
is a consensus, but
Hey,
like
look, it's another evil Gerudo. Like
Yeah.
one of the only other ones in the Legend of Zelda series.
ooh, I've never played that game. Anyways, I just want to say I don't know if it was a consensus amongst the sprite comic communities, but like from what I remember in Metroid related sprite comics, that the Kraid sprite was usually used for like, this is like the goofy bad guy. Like he would just kind of sit
well,
around and not be good at things.
Kraid has a weird, like, goofy... a lot of people think of him that way for some strange reason. He's not really goofy in the original Metroid games,
Well, he's a
though.
big
Like-
monster.
Well, yeah, but so is Ridley.
Well, he's less cool than Ridley, so people would use them as like a
Not his
duo
name, but
where
okay.
where one of them's serious and the other is goofy.
Well, that's not how that works in the games, though.
I'm just
It's-
saying that I remember seeing it in
Yeah,
sprite comics.
yeah, no,
and it's like,
and I'm saying, like, I totally understand that, and I bet that is what happened, but I've seen that before outside of sprite comics, and I still don't understand why it happens.
yeah, like it comes from somewhere and we're not sure where.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I'm under the impression that Kraid is actually just a big monster.
I've not played this game either. This is the
A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
I recognize what the character is.
who's the character?
This is like the final. I want to say that's the final boss, or
Okay.
the boss who's supposed to be the
Is
final
it
boss.
is it
before a
supposed to?
final
Because I
boss
know a
shows
lot of
up.
that game is about like mirror image characters. Is she supposed to be like the flip of another character?
I'm not sure.
This is clearly a world
Yeah.
made of
There's
crystal.
a warp up there.
Wait, where?
Over to the side here.
Oh, yeah. That is a warp.
Yeah.
Seems like you can get back to the entrance from
Okay,
here.
so that's a
okay.
shortcut back to the center.
All right. So, sometimes with this area, it is hard to tell. Like,
Yeah.
because it is not designed super well. Oh, yeah, I forgot we had the, like, weird, horrible visceral going on in here. This bramble
Yeah,
and
we had
and
this going around on one of
veins.
the other edges, too. Can you zoom out?
Yeah. I can try. Not
yeah, like,
as much as I'd like to
not
be
on
able
the
to.
other sides of this, but, like, down...
Yeah, I see it there. It's on the
yeah.
right-hand side. It's the exact same thing. Clearly, there's something in here that is causing it.
Yeah, do we have a path into there?
No, yes. Maybe going through Raiko and Suicune and them. Let's see what's in
Maybe.
here.
By the way,
The
guys,
Sacred Land.
by the time... Ooh.
Oh,
What?
it's Zelda. You can tell because
Oh,
there's
yeah,
an
it's got
owl. And we're fighting the Imprisoned. We have not played Skyward Sword. Guess what?
I
I know
want
what the
to.
Imprisoned is.
I want to play it.
I had to look up lore for this, for a thing that I wound up not doing, but I was really curious about it because I know that Ganon doesn't appear in Skyward Sword. The Imprisoned is Ganon.
Okay.
He's
I'll
the-
try to forget that if we ever get that game.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the spoiler for the game, by the way. It kind of comes out of left field, because the Imprisoned is like a really terrible enemy, honestly. He's just like a big monster that you beat on the toes of. And it's like, oh, you have the dude with the sword, the actual main villain, who's like running around, and he's like, oh, I'm so strong. Wait,
Ooh.
I am the one who speaks the truth.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
So do we need to bring
Oh,
in
there's
something?
Calamity Cannon.
Oh.
Interesting. There's Navarre.
I don't know who
I don't
that
know who that
is.
is at all. And here's an owl. The sword that seals the darkness can cleave the gloom.
Yeah.
There's literally a oh.
Okay.
There's two of them here.
The other ones haven't been covered in sparks and like a Sephiroth wing, right?
Have they not? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't remember them.
This is a
having-
whole zone. Look at this area. This is gigantic.
Yeah.
There's another one here. What is this
You
area?
might have to fight all of them to get one because they're different and there's
Oh
so
my
many of them.
God, maybe.
They're so numerous.
There's so much shit
Let's
here.
just try and weave our way towards one of them.
I gotta fight Calamity Ganon.
Good luck. Let me read the stuff.
Oh, okay.
CPU ally, you lose if they're KO'd. That's probably like
Yeah,
Zelda.
it's almost guaranteed to be linked.
You'll take sudden damage after a while, and he's giant.
He's giant
I'm
cannon.
surprised they didn't give him a fast final smash. But
Yeah. You know what? I'm surprised too. I'm debating, should I go in as Bowser or should I go in as Donkey Kong, do you think?
I think this is a 4-star, so whoever you're more confident with.
I'll try Bowser because it is going to be Ganon, and Ganon hits slow. And I might be able to knock him out of a handful of things, even though he does have his super armor on a lot of his hits. He can still be grabbed when he has super armor. So Bowser might be a really good counter.
Okay, yeah, I figured it was gonna be Zelda. Because
It was either going to be Zelda or Link. I
Well,
couldn't tell
if-
what. Wow, that
oh,
was
wow.
fucking fast.
What happened? That was a legend of Zelda.
That was a legend of Calamity Ganon.
Yeah, I figured, like, if it's an ally that you lose if they die, it's gonna be Zelda. If it was just an ally, it would have been Link.
Yeah, alright.
But Zelda, you gotta protect. For, plot.
Yeah, for reasons.
Just
As you
because
do.
she's Zelda.
Wisdom and courage will be your allies.
Are these
Thanks.
gonna mean anything?
No, none of these have meant anything.
I mean, they're just generic
There's
Zelda
a
stuff.
Metagross here. Oh. What? Why? There's actual darkness in here.
Yeah, it turns out that the map that we thought was the map was like a third of a
I
map.
can't even open this as like a full map, by the way. I just want to point
Oh,
that
what
out.
the-
There's no
really?
button. Yeah.
Huh.
To like zoom out. This is just considered a zone within a zone.
Well then, let's fight Metal Rob. It said stamina battle, which is common for Pokemon.
Fine. I'm gonna go back and... Do you want to take this one, in fact?
You know what? Yeah, let's see.
I should have handed it over a while ago.
Gonna be Falco. I'm gonna shoot him a little bit. It's been a while, so I'm rusty.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
By the time you guys see this, by the way, there might be a Smash Direct up?
I don't know about that, but maybe we'll see. Somebody had told me that there was a Smash Direct coming that was going to be about the hero. Because Nintendo wants to talk about, like, the complexities of the hero from Dragon Quest, and they're going to dedicate an entire Direct for Smash to him. And I'm just like... I don't mind that they're doing it. I like Dragon Quest, like, hero as a character, like, as a concept, but boy, does the West not give a fuck.
Wait,
the West is worried about...
fast.
Yeah. The West is thinking way the fuck more about Banjo-Kazooie. And just, like, summer's almost over. They announced that character as coming out this summer, and we still haven't seen anything at all.
Well, when we turned on the game to record today,
it's at 4.0 was on its way.
Yes,
Here,
they said over the
too.
next week we were going to have a rollout of 4.0, so that's probably going to be Heroes showing up.
It probably will be. It's weird that they took so long after announcing it. I don't know if something happened or, like, what was up with that. It's weird.
Yeah, this one.
Don't we already have an additional mid-air jump? Am I imagining that?
I don't know if this gives us an extra one, but
so 4 jumps in the
might.
air?
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 jumps. That's massively broken.
Why am I giant? It wasn't in...
I think...
it's in the stage.
Yeah, their stage makes you giant. I don't know, maybe they fight against monsters and they need you to be one?
Yeah, what are we fighting?
Link and Robin.
No, I mean...
I don't know. I didn't see
Yeah,
who it was.
I didn't recognize the names
the
of...
characters. Oh,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Girahim in Skyward Sword fights you all throughout that game, being the main villain. And then at the end of the game, it turns out that Girahim is, like, the head of a cult?
Frey and Freya. I don't know who they're from, though. They don't look like... Usually if we don't recognize a medieval fantasy character, it's, like, Fire Emblem, but those don't really look like
Fire
it.
Emblem, yeah.
Yeah.
But you fight him the entire way through, and he's like, oh, well, I'm you know, worshipping my master, the dark god, and all this other stuff. And then you realize that
Is that just an edge?
Yeah, that's just an edge. There's nothing
That's such a
downer.
tease.
It's a tease.
It's got
nothing.
a path. Did it not let you go further than that?
No.
Huh. Yeah, some
a
of
lot of
these
this
paths
area
are
is really
ambiguous.
broken. But the
wait
guy...
a minute. Can you go back?
What?
Who?
Matthew?
Is this one of the characters from, like, the third game?
I don't know, probably.
Because that looks like Isaac, but
I don't
his
know.
name is different. I think the third game has the original
Didn't
characters'
you only ever
kids.
play the first
Yes.
game? Like,
I think the third game is supposed to be like a generation has passed, so maybe
Okay.
it's like someone's kid.
I mean, probably. Chunky Kong!
They should put Disco Chunky in.
Yeah.
Which is okay for anyone who doesn't remember. I don't know if I've ever said this. Like, there's in the DK rap and like the opening, like the cutscene at the beginning of Donkey Kong 64. There's like a brief visual gag where Chunky's wearing a different outfit, and of course they had to make that model and put it in the game. So people who have like modded and hacked Donkey Kong 64 have tried to make it so you can play as Disco Chunky. And I just really wish that would come back and just
Disco
be a proper
Chunky's
meme.
great.
Yeah, they should have at least given him a spirit, although I guess he doesn't have official art, he just is like a 3D model.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was trying to say was that Girahim is, like, fighting for his dark god, and then it turns out it's the Imprisoned, and it's like, oh, okay. And then once you beat the Imprisoned, you find out that he's literally just a dude who's been imprisoned in that form. And it's some guy who looks suspiciously similar to Ganon, and then after you beat him up, he tells you, I'll be reincarnated forever, and I'll just beat you up forever. And then you realize it's the first instance and only instance in the entire Zelda series of Ganon reincarnating.
Well, that was kind of a thing for a while for Zelda games, is that anytime a character other than Ganon is the boss,
Yeah,
it's actually Ganon.
It's always Ganon, but Skyward Sword kind of flips it around, and it's like, hey, this is the only time that this has ever happened with Ganon. And it's like, oh, cool. And a lot of people, when I bring that up, sometimes people will be like, no, Ganon's, Ganon and Ganondorf are two different characters. It's like, no, they're not. They're literally the same dude.
Ganon is just Ganondorf's persona.
He's corrupted. When Ganondorf becomes incredibly corrupted by the darkness, he becomes
there's
Ganon.
like a Hylia statue in the middle.
Wisdom lies with the royal family's guardian trapped in time. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Ganondorf, when corrupted, becomes Ganon. I don't remember if I said that exactly.
Little pegs.
Oh, hey. Magical Vacation tags.
Hey. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Magical Star Sign is a game I have and never beat. And then Magical Vacation is the second one?
No, Magical Vacation is the full series, but it was localized as Magical Star Sign in the
Okay,
US.
but there is more than one, and
there is more than one.
Did they only
it's a
release
series
one
of
in
games.
the US?
I think they only ever made one in English.
That's a shame.
Yeah. They are supposed to be really good games,
least,
though. They're a really well-liked series in Japan.
At least the Ultimate dev team remembers it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I guess they wouldn't really be able to gauge...
I mean, Nintendo in Japan remembers it, too.
Okay. But, like, they wouldn't be able to gauge, like, potential user-based reaction to just a spirit. As opposed to, like, Kid Icarus getting his own game after being in Smash. It's like,
that actually had nothing to do with user opinion.
Sure. But it's like, they're, like, just seeing that they've put in stuff from a game series we haven't heard of from a while doesn't mean they're going to make something of it. But it's still nice to see.
Yeah. Kid Icarus, by the way, the story with that is that supposedly they tasked Sakurai with finding characters that would work for a Smash game. And he went, okay. And when he was picking characters, he picked Pit and was like, this was a really popular game when it first came out. This is a good Nintendo franchise, but it never went anywhere after the first two games. And he was like, I'm going to use this character. And they're like, okay. And then he did it, but he did it and told his team, let's redesign this character as though he had never stopped being a character. So let's take him through the entirety of, like, all of the versions of video, like every iteration, every time that you switch through generations of video games, characters change a little bit. Let's do that with Pit. And they went, okay. And modern Pit was just Kid Icarus Uprising Pit. And then after they did that, Nintendo was so impressed with Sakurai having done that they were like, hey, can you just make this a real game? And Sakurai went, yeah, sure.
Well, like, that's probably not going to happen with things that have just shown up as spirits. That was my point.
Probably not.
But I would like it if they localized more Magical Star Sign.
Yeah, he produced an entire studio for that, by the way, that only made one game, and it was Kid Icarus Uprising.
And how many of the people in that studio are the people from his Smash studio?
It's the same group.
He just kind of put a different name on it?
No. So they were their own company that produced Brawl. When they were contracted to produce Kid Icarus Uprising instead, he changed the name of the group, dropped some people who wanted to leave, and then they produced the game, at which point the studio then basically fell apart, and he had to fucking hire an entirely new studio again.
Oh,
and
is
it's
that
just
why
over
Smash
and
4
over
was
and over
so
again.
different?
It's over and over again. He just keeps having to, like, lose employees and then rehire them.
Weird.
And it's supposedly not that he's a terrible person to work with or anything like that, but Smash is very demanding of people working in it because, like, Sakurai is... I mean, he put himself in the hospital fucking making Melee.
Yeah, we're not allowed to ask him for anything again. There's a reason for that.
Because he'll die if it happens.
That villager's having a bad day.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to come
worse.
back. Oh.
Oh, I forgot there's a fucking thing there.
Yeah, the invisible tree platform.
Yeah, I hate the platforms in this area because you can't tell where the fuck they are. They're so bad. Yeah, people forget Sakurai put himself in the hospital making Melee. He had a heart attack. He's very young for that. He can also play Smash with both hands, by which I don't mean like, oh, he can, play Smash. with his left hand if he needs to.
12:10?
That's the time.
Is it?
Yeah, I guess. That's some time. It's not our time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is not.
Dunban. Defeat the main fighter to win. The enemy will suddenly have a final smash. The enemy's melee weapons have increased power. But what I was saying was he can play it literally with both hands. So he can play it with his right hand and his left hand, and he can play them with both hands at the same time. He is known for being able to walk into a room full of people, challenge them to smash, and then literally just be the only one on his own team of 2 people playing Smash.
Got you.
Wow. I didn't expect him to hit me like that.
One of the characters in this is the one that we're spirit fighting, so that makes sense. But,
yeah, he's also
right, then.
there's the thing. Because it's not the Shulk, it's that one that's the issue.
Okay. I gotcha. They really did get like extensive with some of these Mii costumes. I appreciate it.
There's some really good ones too, and some people are waiting for some really good ones to come out still.
Oh yeah, with the next update, they had better throw in some Dragon Quest stuff.
Okay, come on now.
Because only 4 of the heroes are represented.
Yeah.
So, like, there's some that just kind of probably wouldn't work for the hitbox of the main guy.
Okay.
So, there's gotta be Mii costumes for some of the others. And maybe some of the other classes.
You'd hope, anyway.
I'd really like,
Oh, it was a banana gun.
Oh.
I didn't even know he had it. That was weird.
Well, it was zoomed out for most of that.
That was so weird.
Do you remember, it is sort of the generic warrior, but also the warrior from 3 as a generic class, where the lady had, like, the pink helmet and then, like, the big fluffy purple hair?
I think so, yeah.
I would love to get that as a Mii wig.
That would be nice.
Yeah. And I think off-screen at some point we were thinking of suggestions like Yangus's hat or King Troad's head as a mask.
This guy always lands his fucking final smash, and it pisses me off.
Yeah. That's just the gimmick of this, I guess.
I know. It's still annoying, though.
This is a bullshit map.
It is. I hate this map is the biggest part of this that I don't like.
I guess it's fair.
It's really not.
No, I mean, I keep picking maps that you hate, and now I look at this one, it's like, wow, this one sucks. And it's like, yeah, you knew all along.
It's really not fair. Yeah. Yeah, I just fucking hate this map so much.
I haven't said in a while, I figure I should remind myself that we own the first Xenoblade Chronicles and haven't played it.
Yeah.
I bought it when it was a rare game because it was like, oh, we might not see this again.
It's still sort of a rare game, but it's not as rare anymore.
They ported it, right?
No? Well, sort of, yeah. There is a port for 3DS.
What is...
I guess that's a thing.
Is this normal for this
Yeah, that's a
stage?
mecha.
Okay.
Yeah, Xenoblade has a lot of mechas in it.
We're rarely on this stage long enough for anything to happen. Is it gonna shoot us?
It's gonna probably shoot something eventually.
Okay.
He's like talking to us.
I don't like it.
There we go.
Nice.
Whoa, good JoJo punch.
I was gonna say, do we have to kill the other guy too?
No, you gotta kill the one that is the spirit, and it was him.
Well, sometimes you gotta kill everything.
Yeah, but with that one, they even told you right at the start, like, this is the spirit, and then Shulk was there, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. The Xenoblade is definitely on the list of things that we intended to LP and
yeah,
someday.
and then just never did. Wall merged link.
Cool.
We have like 8 of those. We keep picking them up off of the prize wall. Or the whatever.
The spirit board.
Yeah, the spirit board. That's the word.
What are these little A buttons?
Oh, these little A buttons? Like,
yeah.
Nothing. Oh, okay. I guess they are stuff.
You can only have one lid at a time, it seems. What does that mean, though?
I don't know if it's one at a time. I'm gonna guess.
One of the things told us 12:10. Huh?
I don't know. I just hit him randomly, and apparently it did that. So, you know, cool. I accidentally brute forced it. Torchlight reveals the hour. Create the time I speak. Okay.
12:10.
12.
I want to say that the inner ring would be the hour.
All right, fine. 12. 10 would be this one. 12, 10.
Yeah. There we go. You're just gonna turn into another fight?
Well, yeah, he turned into a fight with an owl, I'm betting. Oh, no, it's Impa. Alright, well,
she's been
cool.
guiding us from the shadows the whole
Something like
time.
that. Did you want to fight Impa, or should I?
I don't care who.
Alright, I'll do Impa. I'll fight her. I'm gonna do it as a piranha plant, though.
Alright, get some variety going.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go.
Alright.
Get as close to Waluigi as I can.
Sure. I suppose Piranha Plant kind of is the non-Waluigi that everyone wasn't expecting.
I was kidding. Let's see. That's probably fine. Actually, I kind of wanted to get really close to, like, what are they called? It's it's like a Deku something. The
Deku Scrub. Yeah, you are.
the bulbous things.
Oh,
Those aren't scrubs.
Dekubaba.
Dekubaba, thank you.
Okay, but yeah, you kind of are. Yeah, they're normally like a bluish purple. So yeah. Interesting, by the way, that those things are always more or less just monsters, whereas Deku Scrubs are a civilization sometimes.
Well, they're also Dekubaba are also an extension of the Deku tree, which makes it really weird when you consider that, like, they attack everyone who comes near the Deku tree, including the people who the Deku tree asks to come and see him.
Well, he was cursed at the time.
Yeah, I know, but it's still like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the ecology of the Deku forest concept is always unclear because you've got the Deku Scrubs and the Dekubabas, which are hostile most of the time, and then sometimes Deku Scrubs will exist in areas that just don't have a Deku tree.
Yeah, it does.
And then Koroks and Kokiri are both also kind of spawned off of the Deku tree.
Sort of. Oh, crap.
But you never see Koroks and Deku Scrubs in the same games, to my knowledge.
I don't... Well...
Bye.
I mean... So Koroks are just the Kokiri.
But they've kind of just changed form to adapt to
Yeah, but in
stuff.
Ocarina of Time, you do get the Deku sprites and the Kokiri living next to each other.
Yeah, but... I mean... They're still not really the same.
Yeah, alright, fair enough.
And you don't get the Majora's Mask.
See what just happened.
Like,
what the hell?
Something. It just looks like there's a path with only one spirit, two spirits between us and a fighter.
Okay, I guess we'll do that. Zale, whoever the hell that is.
From the last story. Not sure what that is.
You know what? I'll just fight him as is.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see the intelligent, non-hostile, like, civilization Deku Scrubs in any game other than Majora's Mask, when there are other things that fill the same niche that I feel like could be interesting to see with them.
Yeah, I have actually heard people, by the way, suggest that the Piranha Plant might be Dekubaba. Like, they could be a subspecies of each other.
I mean, sort of in the same sense that, like, you kind of get Mario enemies in Zelda
games. Very
and
rarely,
Kirby
but it does happen and people don't realize it. Oh yeah, Kirby is an enemy in Zelda.
Well, in a game that takes place in a dream. So, But, yeah, they do
well, a game
kind
that's
of
getting
blur
remade,
the lines.
by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it does. I like it.
Anyways, the lines between them do blur, so you could say that the Dekubabas and Piranha Plants are just the same thing in different worlds, and they've just kind of had their evolution branch, or they're just, it's just a style change, or whatever. Whatever works. But Piranha Plants, although they're usually just monstery, totally have the capacity to be treated as characters, like ours here, where, like, she totally has personality. She doesn't really talk, but...
No.
Like, you get them talking sometimes in, like, Paper Mario or whatever. But Dekubabas are almost always just a chompy plant. That's it.
Yeah, they're usually just, like, literally an enemy and nothing else.
I would like to see more Zelda enemies treated as people. I love it.
I would enjoy it.
Especially because there's been hints of it for lots of the enemies for a long time, like how Like, there's a moblin that holds a relationship with a Hylian girl in Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And a lot of enemies will just randomly, you'll come across one in a corner of a room and it'll talk. Because just that one is an NPC.
Kinda.
Kinda.
It's a Secret to Everybody is a very misunderstood reference.
That wasn't really what I was thinking of.
Okay.
I was thinking, like, there's some weird ones in, like, the trade sequences sometimes, and also there's, like, hostile Zoras in some of the 2D games that are different from regular
There's
Zoras.
actually an argument for that.
Yeah, they're not really the same.
Those are river Zoras, which means that they are freshwater Zoras as opposed to the Zoras that you remember, which are primarily saltwater.
Except when they're not.
Yeah, except when people are like, oh no, but they're living in Lake Hylia. But then it's like, yeah, but Lake Hylia is directly fed by the ocean in some games. It becomes very confusing.
Even though it should work in the other direction.
Well, saltwater lakes are a thing. That's the thing.
But they get their salt from the mountains.
Do they?
Don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, because the rivers run down and they're just through really salty mountains, and then you got a saltwater lake, and then it runs from there either into the aquifer or into the ocean.
Or it runs from the ocean back into the lake, which is a real thing that does happen.
Does it?
Yeah, saltwater lakes can occur where they're close enough to the ocean and that they are a lower depth than the ocean is, that they are fed by the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. It's if a lake is below sea level, there is a chance that a river could flow into it from the ocean and
weird.
create a saltwater lake. Brackish water works in a very similar way in that it's close enough to the ocean and they're at such equal leanings that you occasionally get brackish water, which is both salt and fresh.
Okay. Which ones are evil Zoras?
Probably the freshwater ones, and the ones that we think of as being an actual, like, good character race are probably saltwater.
Notice, though, you don't...
Okay, cool. I didn't know my dad could die, but alright, cool, thank you. Meet my dad.
Okay. You never see the hostile River Zoras in any of the 3D games.
Actually, no, they do appear in... I don't know if it really counts, but they appear in A Link Between Worlds, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Haven't played it.
They are very chubby Zora in comparison. Like, their faces are way, way more rounded. Okay, so they must all be Zelda, and they're all just locked down or something like that.
And we just
she's got that guy in the background. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
It's the big evil guy.
All right then.
Sorry, what were you saying?
We don't have Zelda?
Yeah, we don't have Zelda.
Okay. I haven't kept track of who we have and don't.
Yeah, we don't have Zelda.
All right. Yeah, they're all going to be just puppet Zeldas.
Yeah,
We gotta get them all.
This is a lot of fucking fighting just to get Zelda, by the
Well,
way.
they wanted this area to be like a Zelda dungeon, so you have to light torches and find hidden walls.
Like, Breath of the Wild, which is the newest Zelda game that they just keep talking about because it's so goddamn good, doesn't even have traditional dungeons.
No, but it has like 200 dungeonlets.
Yeah, but they're not the same, and
I know.
a lot of people are really angry about them.
Yeah, it's one of the things they're hoping for in the sequel.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people keep talking about hoping for.
There is
no, okay, each of them must be a Zelda character. So Ganon could be in here.
Okay.
Ganon's one of the characters that I really like to play with. So, like, if we could get Ganon, I'd be happy.
All right.
But we are running kind of short on time, so I guess we're going to have to wait until next week to keep getting the characters.
Oh, I know what's happening.
We're filling up all three pieces of the
we've got...
Triforce.
Do we have Toon Link and Young Link already? We've just been waiting on regular Link.
Yes, I think so. So that's probably regular Link and Ganon over there, and
Toon Ganon and Tetra.
And who knows what'll show up here?
Like, Roy, maybe.
Huh. Did you say Link Boy?
No, Roy.
Oh, Link Roy?
No. Just Roy.
Oh, just Roy. Gotcha.
Like,
well, I
who
guess
else
when we come back,
who would be
we'll be fighting Malon. Okay.
Yeah, not every single spirit we fought has been a Zelda character, so it might just be medieval fantasy sword boys.
It could be. What are we at? We're at 88. We could drop into a lot of buffed things if you want.
I don't remember what we were aiming for.
I think it was one of the ones on the left-hand side over here. It may have been, not weapon resist, maybe sprinting endurance. Hyper smash attacks might have been it.
It might have been hyper smash.
Critical health, perfect shield recovery, special move up, activities up. Heal with smash attacks sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
It may have been hyper smash attacks. You want to go ahead and go with that?
I don't know. Do what you want.
Alright, we'll go towards hyper smash.
Good.
Whatever the hell that is. Alright, so I guess we'll do the fight that we do
Picking
at
up
the
my
end of every
controller.
Sunday. Again, sorry that we kind of didn't do a Sunday last week. It happens once in a great while. And
There's
sorry
usually
that there
a
was
reason.
last week was a little bit spotty on top of that. Oh, a classic ticket, neat.
We unlocked all
Nice.
facilities. Good to know that's
Oh.
done.
Okay, cool.
No more dojos.
Yeah. But yeah, it happens sometimes. We have to deal with real life occasionally, and we got hit really hard all at once. Like, it was all over the course of like a week and a half for some strange reason.
What usually happens is either one of us has an obligation that gets in the way of Sunday, or one of us has like a sudden idea for we should do this now, and it just comes up, and then like Sunday passes and we're like, shit, that was Sunday.
Yeah.
We did that big thing on a Sunday.
Yeah, well, I mean, like this last week we did a stream on Sunday, which was really nice.
Yeah, Josh
but
was
we
in
didn't-
Minecraft.
Yeah, we did the Minecraft stream, but that was planned out with like 5 other people ahead of time. So it's like I couldn't have just shirked that off to do a Sunday.
We could have done
And
it
it was
early.
Sunday night already. We were already busy by that point, honestly.
We could have done it early, but our other important
Yeah, well, that's the
real-life
thing, is
stuff.
that we had a bunch of real life stuff go off, and it's like, oh, okay. Alright.
Alright. We were doing Zelda stuff, so I'm gonna try Sheik out.
Alright. I very rarely play as Joker. I think I played as him a lot when he first came out, and then I just kind of lost interest because he's not the right kind of
He's
character.
not a giant buff monster man like you usually
I
play.
mean, yeah, that's true.
And I just play whatever. Like, I have, like,
So you remember how to use
movement-based
him.
preferences.
Hit you on the backswing.
Oh, there I go. Aha! What do I get? I've been playing... Oh,
Inkay.
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon lately. Like, anyone who, like, knows where my Twitter is has probably seen it's been, like, 99% Pokemon tweets, but it's been useless ones. Like, it's just me sitting there, it's like, oh, I'm gonna not trade
Oh my God,
things
come on,
between
please.
my Diamond and Platinum, except I'm going to. Just nonsense that doesn't make sense outside the context of my brain. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm sure no one cares, but just, I've had Pokemon on the brain a lot. It started with the Sword and Shield stuff, where everyone was excited, and then suddenly everyone was really not excited, and it just made me think about Pokemon. And
Yeah,
then
that's
suddenly
fair.
it just started happening. Oh no, I thought I was gonna jump out of that.
No, don't worry about it.
Me?
I love that ending. That's so cool. You know, if you kill that, it becomes the end screen. Like, you just end with that instead.
Oh, how does hers work again? There we
it's
go.
just
I was
proximity.
pretty sure it was like, you gotta be real close.
Yeah.
And it was. Nice. Ah,
Way off.
yeah.
I was underneath the stage. That should not have counted. Here, take my gun. A literal, actual gun.
Crap. I keep forgetting what any of Sheik's moves actually...
Nice one.
Bye.
All right. Well, So, final thoughts?
I don't know how to play as Sheik.
Yeah. All right. No, but actually, final thoughts.
Can't wait for whatever happens within the next week. It better be us getting Dragon
Yeah, I
Quest
hope we
Hero.
finally get that. They announced that it had to be summer. It is almost the end of summer.
I mean, we've got a little while, but
we've
yeah.
still got, after Dragon Quest, we've got 2 more characters that have to come out before the end of the year.
And one of them, we've been waiting for since like 3 games ago.
Yeah,
so,
well, we've been waiting for since 64.
Yeah.
But, anyway. I got nothing else.
Is this bus gonna take you to the village you've become the mayor of?
If you look really closely, you can see that the road under the bus is a circle and that we're actually just
oh
drifting
shit, yeah,
super
it's still
hard.
just the victory circle.
Anyway, good night, everybody.
I'm applauding your bus driving skills.
Good night.
Good night.